All right, now let's go and live. Okay. Just give it a second to catch up. There we go. Okay, so welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. I found out this week that some pretty big things are happening in our house, and we really had no idea. So I guess we're going to start with giving you a little bit of background on Grammy. Grammy, Josh's grandmother, she was living elsewhere, and when we were house hunting, we came to this house and we said, wow, it's gorgeous, but it's just too big. I'm not dealing with a house that big unless Grammy's going to come live with us. Well, we thought she was happy where she was and she would not come live with us. So we kept searching. 20 houses later, it's like, okay. Well, the second Josh asked her, I don't think he actually finished the sentence asking the question, will you come live with us, before she was saying yes. And it was funny reminiscing about that with her today. So here she goes. Grammy moves in. She turned 90. We've been in this house 6 years. She turned 90 this past April. So she's soon to be 91. Last year was a rough year. Last spring, she had quite a few falls. She was having real stability issues, and it was getting to the point where we thought we were going to, kind of look towards more putting her being in the wheelchair more than in the walker, just to prevent falls. In some of her falls last spring, we do believe that there might be some undiagnosed shoulder injuries. So when I found the patches in August and I started patching myself, I couldn't wait very long before I started patching Grammy. So she started patching about the end of August. So it's about 5 months. We're coming up on 5 months. And these things that I sat down with her, it was a little too much for her to come to be on tonight. So, with her permission, we sat down and we kind of went through the different changes that she saw and things that she wanted to share. But for her to come on herself, it was just a little too stressful. So, she's not used to the technology and the videos and the streaming like we are. So it started this week with her sitting down with her daughter, my mother-in-law, and her saying, oh, my stupid eye, that stupid eye, it's acting up again. And now I just have to learn something new again. The fun things when you get old, you have to learn all these new tricks of getting old. And Sue's like, whoa, time out. What's going on with your eye? Now, let's fast forward to 1968. Here, I was going to share a little screen share with you so you could kind of see Grammy too. Share screen. So here we go. We've got Grammy. So in 1968, she often had very severe migraines. And during one specific episode, she remembers Pop was driving to the hospital, and when she was reminiscing, she's like, I just wanted to bang my head against the window. It just hurt so much. And in that episode, she lost her vision, just gone. Never came back. Well, until now. And no one could really give her what happened. So we kind of think it's like an ischemic event. totally spelled incorrectly, my bad. It would have been easier, according to her eye doctor, if she had just gone blind in that eye, because the brain, while the brain has compensated, over the last 55 years for her, she tried glasses and it just didn't work. She tried different things and it was just worse. So her brain over time just compensated. So here we have, your field of vision. So you've got your normal view. So that would be her left eye in your normal view of what you can see. And then the middle one is what she has seen for the last 55 years. It's just this tiny little piece in the bottom corner. And so it just kind of stayed where it needed to. And her eyes adjusted as she needed to. But recently, her field of vision has increased. And I've worked with her with these images, and she's told me now that her vision is more on the right side now. So she went from having this tiny little circle, which she told me was wrong, it should be smaller, but graphically to fix that, no. So it was about that small, but it's increased so much. She says when she watches TV now, it's so much more enjoyable because she can see better. So here's Grammy. This is her on her 90th birthday on the left. And this is her after she had been patching for 4 months. And it was really a random, Graham, you look great. Like, you're just glowing. And she's like, oh, I get flush at this time of night. And I was like, can I take your picture real quick? So I quick snapped a picture, and she looks amazing. And, we started these patches, not for that reason, but she looks amazing. So this is Grammy. And now you've seen her field of vision that has improved. And it was, kind of told to us because of her stupid eye, that was, it's not as apparent when she's watching TV, but when she's trying to read her book. Now, her eye, because of its increased vision, is now wandering to the other page. And now the line of the book, which this eye used to stay on this side for the book, now is gradually going over to the other book. And so she's having a hard time. She's fighting with the binding of the book. And so now she's trying to, work through that part of it. So here we are sitting down going, wow, Graham, look, we do not typically improve as we age. Now, we age like fine wine, we're supposed to, right? And things get better and we age like fine wine, but certain things like an eye injury from over 55 years ago with some kind of stroke, retina detachment thing going on doesn't just heal itself. So as Sue was breaking it down with her and going, wait, what are you talking about? Your stupid eye. Your vision's better? And she's like, well, yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Your vision's better. Yay. I mean, I don't think she didn't even put it together that it was the patches. I mean, there's nothing else that she's done, and there's nothing that you can do aside from stem cell injections to get this kind of outcome. And I still don't even know that you would get this outcome with stem cell injections. So we then go look and we say, well, Graham, what else has gotten better? So we had a great conversation today. And so since patching, her improvements, 90 years old, she has excellent blood work. In fact, her doctor was just here this week. She does not leave the home anymore. So she's up in her apartment and the boys go up all the time. I absolutely love it because she has gotten so much better and she's more capable. We're okay with the boys going up because they do listen to her very well, but it gives her company. She loves when the boys go up. So before that, when she was falling a lot this spring, we weren't sending them up there or allowing them to go up as much. So it's really been nice that they can do that now. So her doctor was here. They said she had excellent blood work. And the doctor said that she wished some 30-year-olds had this blood work, that's how good her blood work is at 90. One of the things that I've definitely noticed is that I'm not receiving as many packages at the door. So she's had improved bladder control because she doesn't need the Depends or whatever that she uses as frequently at all, which is fantastic for her to save money. She's had improvements with her irritable bowel syndrome. So that's a lot less laundry. So those are kind of the easy ones to check off. So let's talk about her pain. So she has fibromyalgia, and it can be debilitating. This past spring, she would go through bouts of fibromyalgia that would last about 2 weeks. Her flare-ups would definitely last at least 2 weeks. And then she would have to recover from those flare-ups because she couldn't get comfortable. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't do anything. It was awful. So those flare-ups then give her at least a week or two of recovery. So she could be down for a whole month and just suffer. Now, after patching, I think her longest fibromyalgia flare-up was 2 days, and that was recent. It might have only been a day. And so she doesn't need that extra time to recover, maybe a day to recover, but she bounces back so much faster now than she ever did before. She's also using a lot less of that Aspercreme, that it's a cream that you rub on to help with pain. And she was going through that. That was her regimen. She'd wake up in the morning and she would just cover herself in Aspercreme. In fact, the cats wouldn't go near her because of the smell on her hands. And because she's not using it as much, the cats have gone around her more and wanted her attention and wanted her to pet them. So that's really awesome too. She has 3 unopened bottles of Aspercreme sitting there in her drawer, which is fantastic. Before, we would have to run out real quick to get some because she was almost out and didn't realize it. So that's amazing in of itself. She hasn't fallen since she started patching. Not a fall, not a stumble. She did have a couple episodes after her last pretty bad fall where she had some falls where she would strategically land on the couch or strategically land on a bed or something that was near her. She hasn't had that at all. She hasn't had any of it. It's amazing. Her stability has improved so much that where she was very reliant on her walker, she does find herself walking away from it sometimes, of course, giving everyone else a heart attack, but she is feeling that much more stable and that much more confident to be able to walk away from her walker for a little bit, to go to the other side of the kitchen and get something. Her stamina and her energy have also improved. Now, you say that and you say a stamina and energy for a 90-year-old woman. Let me tell you something about Graham. She loves to clean. And if she could, she would clean her house every day. I mean, she loves to clean. She loves to dust. She's very meticulous. I go to her house and she says, "Oh, it's so dirty. It needs to be cleaned." And I'm like, "You should take a peek downstairs, Graham. You'll feel a whole lot better up here." Because it looks pristine. It looks like a museum compared to the other side of the house where we live with 2 small children. So her stamina, when she was younger, she was a workhorse. I mean, there was never, "I can't, I won't, it's let's do this. I want to undertake this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that." She was sanding floors with Sue. I mean, years ago at one of Sue's houses. I mean, she's a worker. So for her to go from being a worker, a busybody, to, having severe mobility issues was a challenge. So when she had good days, she would try to do everything she could in that one day. She'd try to mop the floor, do the dishes, clean the bathroom, blah, 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 blah. And she would put herself out of commission for an entire week because she beat herself up so bad on that one day that she was feeling good. And that's changed. That has changed dramatically. And I don't know if it's because she's having better days more often, that she doesn't feel the need to cram everything in and get it all done in one day, that she's spreading them out, or that it's also that mental clarity that she can spread it out over that course of time. And I really do think it's a little column A and a little column B, but She has improved her own independence more recently than not, being able to tend to the house and the cleaning of the house in small doses, spread over time. And she's really enjoyed it. She's enjoyed having the extra stamina to stand at the sink and do the dishes. I really, it's just so amazing, everything that's happened. The thing that she loves the most is that she does she hosts a Bible study every week with some of her girlfriends, and she which is great for her, people to come in and hang out with her, and they're her girlfriends, they've known them for a long time, and she loves to talk about the word of God, and if she can share that with people, she wants to. So she's very passionate about that, and it got to the point at the end of last spring where it was just too much for her. She couldn't sit long enough in the chair to host it. I mean, she was in pain for days afterward. So she went from, I just don't think I can do this anymore, it's just way too much on me, to she has them every week again. And they just started back up. I mean, no one really talked about it. It just happened. So every week her girlfriends come over and they have Bible study. So the fact that she's been able to do that is probably one of her most favorite things, that she has been able to continue doing that, and she didn't lose it she thought she was going to. So really, and in terms of her overall increased independence and her quality of life improvements, we got to say that the patches have been 110% amazing for Grammy. 90 years old, turning 91 in April, and she says that life begins at 90 and a half. She takes everything with stride, and we're really blessed to have her in this house. And I'm just so happy that she has found I don't know, I don't want to say it's a new lease on life, but it kind of is. Because, I mean, the fact that she can see, and for those that came in late, let me show you again, that the view that she had on her eyes. So this was her field of vision. You have your one eye. Is that screen sharing? Did that work right? Okay. You have your, I think that worked. Okay. Here we go. So your field of vision. So you'd have her right eye, no, her left eye, and then her right eye. This is what she would see out of her right eye. And that's what she saw out of her right eye for 55 years. And then to suddenly, after 5 months of wearing X39 and Eon, and not even in the right spots, I got to tell you, she wears them where she wants. And I'm not going to argue with her. She wants to put them where she's got pain. You put them where you got pain. They're still working. It doesn't matter where you put them, because while they do say that in their clinical studies, the locations that they show in their booklets and their pamphlets are the best locations, yes, put them wherever you need them. So the fact that she's gone from that view for 55 years in the middle to the view on the right after 5 months, I find amazing. I knew these patches were amazing before I was using them. I reduced my knee pain. But now, here, I'll share a picture again so y'all can see the difference in Grammy. I mean, I'm just blown away at how amazing she looks. And it wasn't just the other day because, she said, oh, well, no, it's just because I'm flushed this time of day. I'm like, no, Graham, it's not. Literally, your forehead looks totally different. Your eyes are so much more relaxed. I barely see any wrinkles on her cheeks under her eyes here, where before she had quite a bit. I mean, she looks so different. She looks so great. I would have loved for her to have come on tonight, but it was definitely just too much for her. So that is Graham in a nutshell. Did anyone have any questions? Hold on, I got some other. What else happened this week? Hold on, give me a second. Let me. Oh, all right. I don't know what happened to the screen. It just all went away. Okay. Other things this week. Oh, the Dream Big event happened in California this past weekend. I was texting back and forth with Monica about it, and she took a bunch of great notes. So I really can't wait to go through those and decipher those as she was able to, because she does live in California, go out and participate in Teresa's event. So that was a ton of fun. What else do we have this week? Oh, well, that was the other thing I wanted to show you. If you haven't done so yet, check out learntopatch.com. It's a fantastic resource that will give you information about the websites. This is a non-selling site. This is a site that is just going to tell you about the patches. So we have learntopatch.com. It breaks down each of the patches. If you click on the patch sleeve itself, it will open in another page the product sheet for that specific patch. So you can print that out, take that with you. I love this site because if I have a patch that I haven't worn in a while, say I have carnosine or something that I want to put on, crap, I don't have my stuff with me. I don't know exactly where it goes. I come right to here and I say, learntopatch.com, carnosine, here we go. What is carnosine? Where does it go? Or where are their recommended spots? So then I can quick look and then place carnosine as I need. So this is a great resource if you didn't know about that. If you have people that are wanting to join to build a business, then there's another site, Patching Partners here, which is a team that we're building. So you can come here. There is a blog here with helpful articles about expectations for patching, what to patch next. I'm working on one right now for they're not working. And I put that in air quotes because oftentimes people will say, well, I don't know. I mean, I put them on, but I just don't think they're working. Well, my answer to that is that first, you really need to make sure that you take your before pictures because you need to have something to compare to. If you don't have a lot wrong, if you don't have a lot of pain, if you don't have a lot of really apparent symptoms, you could feel like they're not working. But in all reality, they are. And so, just make sure that you take your before pictures before patching. Encourage people that you know that are patching to do the same. People that are signed up under you, or people you're patching with. Just remind them to try to get it as quick as you can before, if you can do no makeup, whatever of a picture. So yeah, so to recap, Grammy, after 55 years of having her eyesight looking like this, having her eyesight look like this, now has eyesight like this. Improved vision after a 55-year-old unknown injury to the eye. So I got to tell you, these patches are something else. They're really amazing, and I can't say enough good things about them. Now, between Grammy's her eyesight coming back and Hearing reports that I think I heard a report that my father felt like he was wearing a sock, which was amazing because he's got neuropathy and he can't feel much of anything in his feet. So the fact that he felt anything at all, or the sensation of something, even as minuscule as feeling like you're wearing a sock, is, I think, pretty monumental. So any questions? Mom, how are you guys doing with patching? How are you guys feeling down there?
Okay.
Yeah.
We kind of didn't do it a lot during January, only because we have figured out now that we think we have what was called RSV. It's a upper respiratory thing that's usually with just little kids and stuff, but apparently older folks are really getting it a lot more now. So every symptom we had was that way, and it took us 3 weeks of resting and whatever to get rid of it all. So yeah.
Well,
So we were not very good about putting patches on those days. We just rolled over and went back to sleep.
just future reference, when people that do get sick, you definitely want to continue patching because those stem cells will help. In fact, when I was sick with that same thing, something close to that same thing, coming from Florida, coming from my mom's house, I was wearing multiple X39s during the day. I didn't care. I just wanted this thing gone. So I had patches everywhere, all over my face, all over everything. I was just trying to get rid of it as fast as I could, because you got kids that aren't sick anymore that you got to keep up with. So that's never easy. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you guys are feeling better and you figured out what it was. Let me jump over here to see. Sue, do you have any more comments at all? I know you missed the beginning, but Susan McGarry, Grammy's daughter, just joined, and she was there today as we were discussing the different patches and how Grammy was doing.
Can you hear me now?
Different symptoms. Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry about that. I didn't realize I was muted.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm doing great. I'm feeling good, doing great.
Yeah, and you started patching yourself, right?
It's been a little more than a month.
Oh, great.
And I notice that I am catching up on my sleep, which is important. And I don't know, maybe it's my inherent vanity, but I think my skin looks better.
No, I don't think that's it. It is the patch that will definitely help with it.
And I'm sure I have more energy. I think that was the thing I noticed first. Was definitely more energy. I was doing lots of laps around our center island in the kitchen. And I think the changes in Graham are just remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with her complaining about her eyesight to me the other day, how it had improved. That just blew my mind. Really blew my mind.
Yeah. The complaining about the bind of the book being in the wrong spot because her eyes just seen too well.
Her field of vision is obviously. I love your visual that you did on it. I think that's just spot on.
Yeah, and you know what? I took it up to her. I'll share it again so people just joining in can see it again. I took it up to her and she said, "Oh, that's great. Oh, but the first one, it's too big. That bubble's too big. It's smaller than that." And I'm like, "Well, just gonna have to be that for now."
Yeah.
So gets the point across.
Yeah, I mean, I vividly remember when all that happened and how difficult it was for her to adjust to that. Her depth of field, her steadiness on her feet, everything was just completely skewed. And for the doctor to tell her she would have been in better shape if that eye was completely blind was it was just a tragedy.
Yeah.
She was so young. What was she, Kate? You did the math today. She was what, like 36, 38?
Yep, she was 36 at the time.
Yeah.
I think you said you were in 8th grade when it
Okay,
happened.
great.
Yeah. And it just went. That's it. It just went. And
In
just
one
never came back.
afternoon. I remember her telling me she was laying on the sofa looking at the front door. And she went from being able to see the entire room and the front door, with the front door included, to being only able to see the doorknob on the front door.
Mm.
And I think it was really very frightening for her.
Yes. And then to have that sight regained and her brain have to compensate again now at 90 to readjust again on how you see. And my guess is, I had to guess, it's going to get better. And that's what we're going to pray for, that it's going to continue to improve. So maybe her eye won't have as much trouble, but it will be an adjustment nonetheless. But I'm really excited to see where this goes for her and how much of her eyesight she regains.
She has improved just based on her conversation with us today and her first relating the changes to me last week. It has improved since then.
Yeah. Wow.
Just in that, well, I guess it's a little less than a week, span of a little less than a week.
Yeah.
I wish you had been there though when she was complaining. There's just another tricky thing to get adjusted to. Getting old.
I think it's wild. I think it's absolutely wild.
You couldn't make this up.
No.
It's just crazy.
Well, and I think, we're trying to say like the best things that the top things for Graham that have improved. And, aside from her vision, the reduction in pain, because that's always been something that she has dealt with pretty much her entire life.
Yeah.
The fact that she hasn't fallen since starting the patches, and that she has a better stability, just an overall stableness. I think those were the main 4.
And her mental acuity, she said she feels clearer mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And she had reached a point, I don't know if you covered it at the beginning. If you did, Kate, tell me and I'll stop talking. But she had reached a point, one of the joys of her life is conducting her Bible study.
Yeah.
And she had reached a point several months ago where she had decided that it was so physically taxing for her just to get her Bible study together, get herself dressed that day and sitting in the wheelchair for hours and hours at her table. It wore her out and beat her up physically so bad. She had decided she was no longer going to be able to do it. And she stopped. And then just, casually resumed doing it without any fanfare, without any, big announcement that, I'm feeling great, I can do this now. It's all been just so subtle and so gradual. She does Bible study now and she's fine the next day. She's fine. She sits in that same chair for hours with her friends in her kitchen. And where before, if she had dragged herself through it, she'd be beat up so bad for the next week that she'd be unable to resume doing anything.
Yeah.
Now she just sails through it. She's tired when she's done, but there's no big physical penalty to pay.
Yeah.
And that has improved her quality of life drastically.
Oh, without a doubt. And the other thing I was sharing was the before and after pictures.
Yeah.
Which are just, I really think amazing that and her before picture wasn't even it wasn't right when she started patching. It was from April, but still,
it's a great photo of her. She was all done up for the day.
Yeah.
I had put makeup on her. I had done her hair. The other photo, she has no makeup on and her hair is down.
Yes.
She's not all gussied up.
No, not at all. In fact, I thought she just looked so fantastic that I had to snap that picture.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I'm just flush. You know, as she gets, oh, it's just the time of day. And I'm like, no, Graham, really, you look great. And yeah, it's amazing. I gotta tell you, stem cells are amazing. Here we go. We're all gonna reverse age together. How's that sound?
I'm willing to be 26 again. Thank you. Yes.
Mom, what age are you going for?
I'm not going for 26. Too many problems back then. We'll probably take the 40s. Those are good.
I'd settle for 50, 50, 55. That'd be great.
Yeah, when there are far less problems. Yep, we'll take those those
Yes,
years.
absolutely.
I'll just stay right in my 40s. I'm just gonna stay right here the whole time.
Just sail through. Sounds good.
Well, I appreciate you ladies joining me this evening.
Thank you.
And it was fantastic to talk about Graham. I was just so happy to be able to share her story. At some point, I'm hoping maybe, who knows, in the future, maybe we'll have her on. We'll see what the future holds. But for now, we are just so pleased at the fact that her eyesight is coming back. We're shocked that her eyesight is coming back, but we're extremely pleased in her increased quality of life.
It's such an objective thing.
It is.
So many things can be subjective,
Yes.
but it never even occurred to any of us, Kate, that this would be something that would even be in the realm of possibility. And here we are.
Yeah.
We should be on the crazy. Doing it. Yeah. And wonderful. Fails through it.
Sorry, I had feedback there for a second. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay, good. I clicked a button. Oh no. Yeah, no, it's fantastic that, you know, I think a lot of the things that I'm finding are things I didn't know that the patches would do. Like hair growth. I had no idea. It was fantastic to discover that, but I had no idea that that was going to be a thing. Now, it's not a thing that LifeWave claims, because that would change the change what the patches would be considered, because I guess hair loss is a medical condition. So they won't ever tout that it regrows hair, but I see time and time again people that claim that their hair is growing in and thicker. So it's really cool that sometimes you put them on and you're like, wow, it does this too? That's great. I regained my sight after 55 years. That's great.
Crazy.
It is. Well, thank you so much for joining me, ladies. I am going to go put 2 little boys to bed, and I look forward. I'm going to put this up on the YouTube so it can be shared if people would like to catch it later on. And have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Deb.
Good night.